Hello racing fans, and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for this Thursday. Can you believe it? It's the 24th of October. Just remember the 1st of October the other day, and it's now the 24th. Wow. It's Thursday. We're at the Vaal, and let's see what's on the betting menu before we introduce Alistair Cohen to the show. Races 1 through to 8, so that's it. 8 races carded. Race number 1 begins at 12:15. And if you enjoy playing the Pick 6, the big one at 13:25. And I must add that it's worth playing these days around the country. I'm just judging the results in the respective centres. You're getting some fair dividends considering the results, and I'm sure Alistair would want to, possibly talk about Tuesday's race meeting because, if you followed the jockeys like Pierce Stradham and Gavin Larena and the top boys with their respective mounts, you would have been in the pound seats as we introduce Alistair Cohen. Alistair, Tuesday's race meeting, I thought it was fair results considering the results on the day for dividends.
Yeah, Dees, good morning to you. Good morning to all the viewers. I'm glad you actually started on that note because I thought about it bright and early on Wednesday morning that, and this might sound a little bit disrespectful to some of the others, but if you're following a handful of jockeys around the country right now, there's an element of hunger among a certain group. I think there's probably an element of also guys looking around saying, right, Richard Fourie's not doing Durban. He's not doing Durban yet. He's doing Joburg for the first time on Allied Steel Road Charity Mile Day. And I think guys like Muzi, like Gavin, guys all around the country are probably sussing out an opportunity to get first run and potentially, go quite deep. And then talking of jockeyship, I thought Pierce Stradham's ride on Queen of Love on Tuesday at Turfentine was one of the best that we'll see this season. I know that we're only in late October. There are many months of the season to go. But that ride on Queen of Love was something special. I was at Turfentine on Tuesday, and just to see that and to hear the reaction, I mean, everyone was on the Dekoko, Sat Laudia ran second. And there was almost a feeling of, we're happy to go out of our pick sixes and our jackpots and our altar comes just to see that ride. That was something special. So, very exciting at the moment. Big races are coming to town. So, it's, as you say, a good time to be a racing fan. I just need to stop being one out. It's driving me insane.
Okay, I saw that. That was the bar pot, and it paid very handsomely as well. Race number 1 kicks off at 12:15. 1,400 meters, a work rider's maiden plate for fillies and mares. And this is what we have with regards to betting. Number 1 is trading at 11-10, and a horse that possibly sets the standard when you look at the form that she brings into the race. She's been a solid horse in the maidens. She's been earning. Every time she runs, she gets a stake tick. Then we're on to number 4, Jilted. That's at 7-2. And we move along to a first timer from the Tony Peter yard at 9-2. And then horse number 11 at 11-2. I'd like to start off with number 4, Jilted, because we know what happened last time out, but just for a refresh, that those that didn't watch the race, everything came off. The saddle slipped, the lead back fell off, and that was it. So you can't read anything into that run, Alistair, for number 4, Jilted. Against this type of field, are you expecting it to bounce back to, possibly a better form?
Definitely got a winning chance, Dees. I think the first thing that I want to address is the configuration of the rail. If trends are to be believed, the inside rail set at 0 means low number draws down the straight will likely be favoured, and I suppose that's going to help Jilted's cause being drawn and won and getting the services of Anati Feni, who's obviously Mike de Kock's right-hand man, and Alson, having worked for Michael for many years, will know Anati quite well. And I also know that the team at Wilkeborgsdrift through Mary Snack also knows Anati quite well. The only thing that stayed on Jilted's back last time was Cabello Matsanyane, and I thought that he was going to jump ship as well. Brilliant jockeyship from Cabello to stay on board number 4, Jilted. So, yes, ignore that run, and she does come in with a chance. I think by work rider standards, D's, this field is not all that bad. The elephant in the room here is the Tony Peter dynamic. Can we read anything into this? Number 1, Cat O'Clock looks like a winner in waiting. She's very consistent. Punters have been burned a few times with this daughter of Rafif. It's hard for me to motivate that she'll be a good thing here, but she wouldn't be winning winning out of turn. But stable work rider and part of the family, basically, rides number 9, Mischief Managed. Pelasina Mokhawa, his record for Tony Peter over the last 12 months reads 18 rides, 5 wins at 8 places. This daughter of Wings of Desires out of Hollywoodbets Durbanville, runner-up about 15 years ago, Zirconium. She hasn't produced any champions, but a few winners along the way. So that is the elephant in the room. If there is any money on number 9, Mischief Managed, respect that, respect it big time. But as it stands, without knowing anything about the first timers, 1 and 4 would stand out, but number 9 does become a runner. I think number 11, Sweet Sophia, does have scope to improve. I know nothing about Sia Dwayana, who takes the ride for Roy Magna. He's ridden a few races before, has Mr. Dwayana. Just having a look at his overall record, 10 rides, no wins, but a few places. I think Saint Sophia will improve, but probably just a run away from winning.
Okay, that's it for race number 1. Alistair's given you his thoughts. You need to work it out. Alistair, just if you're a bipod player, how many horses would you suggest there?
I'd suggest just the 2 horses, numbers 1 and 4.
1 and 4 if you're playing the bipod there in leg 1. Place accumulator race number 2. It's a graduation plate for fillies and mares over 1,500 meters. And the best weighted cost is topped by number 1, Mia Moo. And if you can recall, when I did the show with Alistair last time out, whilst I thought it was a competitive race, she was coming off a break. He didn't want to know. He made her the banker bet on the card. And she arrived smoothly, it has to be said, on the ride from Craig Zaki. She's trading at 11-10. Horse number 3 at 5-2. Number 4, World of Alice, is at 18-10. If my memory recalls that race meeting when you did that pick 6, Alistair, it looked like a very inexpensive spend, and you were on the button. I think you may have fell in the last leg, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the story of October, I'm afraid, Dees. And again, 1 leg out, and much like the bipod on Tuesday, big dividend that we just missed and that just avoided us. So here my suggested bet is a place accumulator on this card, and it's a very inexpensive perm. It's a 24 Rand perm, and the last leg I'm hoping to at least double up with 4 horses. So I've anchored number 1, Mia Moo. I simply can't see her missing the first 3. It's as easy as that. Craig Zaki takes her out for Sean Terry, as mentioned, running 5 lengths to double Grand Slam over 1,400 meters is no disgrace. She probably needed her last run. What is interesting is I actually believe she ran below her rating last time out of 103. The obvious worry was that although Serena Woodley's foot slipped out the eye, and Say It Loud, who ran in that race, is a lot better than 5th in that race, ran 2nd on Tuesday at Turfentine. So that is a little bit of food for thought that she might have 1 or 2 vulnerabilities, but overall, the 4-year-old, the best weighted horse on the race, the most decorated horse on the race, I think that she'll take all the beating. She should win. She is a PA and bipod banker. The horse that's most interesting, though, is the stable companion number 4, World of Alice. An above-average daughter of One World, Dennis Schwarz, takes a ride inside draw, but in a small field. I think that's all academic. But interestingly enough, just having a look at the Her Serene Highness Princess Charlene Starling Stakes, which is just over a week later, this horse holds an entry. And she must be a chance as well, World of Alice. I know she's got a bit of a deep draw, so I think Sean Terry's just kicking for touch here with World of Alice. If she runs here, then she could give her stable companion and owner companion something to think of. But I think right now, at the start of World of Alice's 3-year-old career and the start of Mia Moo's 4-year-old career, I'll just be on the side of number 1, Mia Moo, but I might change my tune sort of at the turn of the year.
Okay, that's race number 2, and Mia Moo, a confident selection from Alistair there in race number 2, and she does look the part, especially if you go on the best weighted column, and of course on how she won last time out, which was a good win back from a break. Maiden plate 1,400 meters. We'll kick off the pick 6 at 13.25, and place soccer 6, 10, and 13. I like to mention that because, I've never seen pools grow so quickly. That's the word. When it comes to soccer, especially the soccer 13 on a weekend. Wow. If you haven't been playing racing fans of soccer 13, you need to try and get involved because it's 1, 2, and 3 over 13 games. You can play a perm, And that is it. 1, 2, and 3, home, away, and draw. And if you get it right, I promise you, there's some proper dividends to be made. So that is it. This is race number 3 over 1,400 meters. Number 2 at 28 to 10. Number 3 at 11 to 2. Number 10 at 8 to 1. 13 at 8 to 1. 14 at 28 to 10. And then it is double figures, the balance. I think the first question will be, Alistair, are you going to be following the form line behind good to great, or are you looking elsewhere for cover in the pick 6? So is that form line good enough?
No, it's good enough. There's a horse that I like here a lot. It's number 14, Enforced Law, who I've banked in my place accumulator. Just about banking that in the pick 6. I'd probably just leave it open-ended for straight-ins ride number 10, Baynak, and the horse who finished in front of him, and the 4, number 2, Kalish Cyborg. But on the good to great run, I believe Enforced Law will turn that form around with number 2, Kalish Cyborg. There was half a length in it. It was Enforced Law's first run. He was horribly green, horribly all at sea first time out. I had no right to run third. I thought he'd run last going through the 400. He was lost and was making no impression and took off strongly. He's drawn towards the inside, which should be the highway. Baynak is drawn hard up on the outside. Kalish Cyborg drawn middle outside, so that obviously bodes well. We know that Joey Soma's not one to ready them up first time. They come on naturally, so Enforced Law is a candidate for that. Joey also knows how to get the William Longswords performing because he trains back in business, so without really studying the race just yet, I think will win the Yellowed Steel Road on a mission mile if he runs and cracks a draw. So I think number 14, Enforced Law, is going to take a power of beating here. I'm going to trust my eye. I like what I saw first time out, and I'm prepared to set out my stall and bank him in the PA and bar pot, as mentioned, pick 6. I'll include numbers 2 and 10, but that's more out of fear of falling short in the first leg and having a long day afterwards than truly expecting them to beat number 14, Enforced Law. I think he'll win.
Just to add to what Alistair mentioned, and of course through my association to Darlin Chinsami, Enforced Law was not fancied first time out. They were just hoping that he gets a nice educational run. It was a pleasant surprise for everybody, and just judging by the comments after that race, well, I think Alistair could be on the right horse here. Number 14, Enforced Law, the horse to beat, and 28 to 10, I think is not going to last come race time. Race number 4, Jackpot 1, graduation plate over 1,100 meters. And again, we'll have a look at the best weighted column after giving you the betting. Number 1 at 9 to 2. 2 is at 22 to 10. Number 4 at 9 to 2. 5 is at 17 to 10. And then it's double figures, the balance. The best weighted column does seem to favor the fillies here, Alistair. And one of them is a big 25 to 1 shot in number 6 moving in. But Elegant Ice is on top at a 106, ahead of number 6 at a 102. And I must add, it's quite a gap to the next best, which is Heather Adamson's runner, number 1, Biofarmer. What did you make of the race? Because if you're going to try and work it out with weights, etc., rather than what jumps off the page, then you're going to become confused.
Yeah, I've taken the stance that only 2 horses can win. So in the pick 6, let me just check the best weighted column, and I do not agree. Numbers 2 and 5 are the horses. Moving out, can't have Louis and Schlapel takes her out for Johan Janssen van Vuren. That would be a major turn up for the books. And then with regard to number 4, Elegant Ice, she's interesting because she's run at the highest level. She's probably not quite a grade 1 horse, but she's probably not too far away. But the fact that she comes off a layoff, she's probably prepping for the Carry On Al Estates, which is on the 9th of November, and probably going into the Betway Merchants on Betway Summer Cup Day. I don't think that this is a race that she's truly targeting, and I think she'll come on for the run. Also considering that she earned an £8 penalty for beating Chrome Tourmaline by 3 1/4 lengths, and I don't believe that Chrome Tourmaline would trouble these 2 very progressive 3-year-olds. So in the PA and bar pot, banker one or the other, numbers 2 or 5. I've taken the stance that I'll put number 5, Buffalo Storm Cody, ahead of number 2, Kimrick, because of the 3-kilo turnaround. Buffalo Storm Cody had a good run last time over 1,200 meters behind stable companion Gorgeous Klein. I think they're very nice horses that were in and around Buffalo Storm Cody, although there were horses prepping. Horses like Truth, horses like Hotter Ruby were all around number 5, Buffalo Storm Cody, and I think that he's probably going to get a leg up here and be the horse that they all need to beat. I thought that the only disappointing run that he had was at Hollywoodbets Greyville. Greyville on Gold Cup Day when he was beaten by Cat's Pajamas, but he just didn't get the rub of the green, and there were all sorts of hard luck stories. All of his form lines are strong. The only horse that I think can beat him is number 2, Kimrick. He was obviously disappointing at Hollywoodbets Scottsville in the Grade 1 Gold Medallion when running 9 lanes to proceed. Didn't really kick on, I must be honest, but I think that you might see signs of life with the second one after arrest. Stradham's back on number 2, Kimrick, so I do give him a winning chance as well. I've isolated that to 2 horses, and you can't talk me out of it.
Just quickly, Alistair, number 5, Buffalo Storm Cody. You know, his form compared to when he debuted, a ball of speed and just ran away from the opposition. I see he's been declared with blinkers. You think they're trying to inject that pace back in?
Yeah, guaranteed. That will be the line of thinking. I don't think we can also read too much into that debut win. I mean, he was all the rage and he absolutely doddled up. But for me, there was just no real competition in that race, and I think Buffalo Storm Cody was just able. He was simply 9 lengths better than Bad Medicine. But yes, if he does get off to the lead and he does show that sharpness yet again, he could be a difficult horse to catch. Although the half-vault tracks are not going to be running as quickly as they were for the last 4 months for obvious reasons.
Okay, blinkers on number 5, Buffalo Storm Cody. On to race number 5, 1,700 meters, and a scratching here in number 2. Number 1, Red Legend at 14-10. Horse number 3, Red Knot at 7-1. I ticked down this betting of number 4, Roman's Revenge, and I just put a big question mark there, 13-10. And then we go on to number 5 at 9-2. And it's double figures the balance. It's a small field. It's 7 runners over 1,700 meters. You know, this horse, the Roman's Revenge, he won well, but he was entitled to win the way he won last time out, you know, considering that he was coming into that race fancied. 13-10, Alistair, straight out the maidens against this field. Your thoughts?
Winning chance, but no 13-10 shot. I mean, I've left him out of the place accumulator. I wouldn't leave him out the pick 6. I'd row in with 3 runners, with him being my next best for what that helps. But when you have a look at that, he beats. There's nothing here, Dees. I'm looking at the form now. Snow Moon, trained by Lorenzo Karim. Let me just count this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 starts. And subsequents are running 6 lengths to Roman's Revenge. Fine. Not for one moment saying take this at face value, but ran over 2,600 meters. That's why I don't take it at face value, because Snow Moon did not stay. But was beaten 40 lengths ahead. It was beaten 8 lengths, and at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 starts. That's a shallow maiden. So I don't believe there's any value whatsoever at 13-10, although he would be my 3rd horse in the pick 6. I've got numbers 1 and 5 for these. 1, Red Legend, on the back of running 2 3/4 lengths to Guy Alexander, giving him a lot of weight. Guy Alexander, a winner at Turfentine on Tuesday. I think that all speaks for itself. Craig Zaki takes her out for Lucky Hudalakis. We know how formidable Lucky is at the Vaal. Penultimate start, I actually think it was probably better than the last run, because gave 1.5 kilos to Hat Trick or Treat. They were miles ahead of the 3rd horse, and Hat Trick or Treat won in style, got out the maidens after that. So I don't think the form's all that bad. And then number 5, Vaal Vegas. I was waiting for this horse to go more than the sprint distance, and finally last week Yanni Borman took him over 1,700 meters. He went to the front, he was headed, and he reached Samo Birch and nearly pulled the Pierce straight and got this horse to revive itself and nearly fight back and beat Latuli. I think this horse has always been looking for a trip. The blinkers are back on. Let me just check those declarations. At the time of recording, the horse still has blinkers on. I have no idea how that's going to work, but all in all, it's just a horse that I've been sitting on for a while, number 5, Vaal Vegas, and I think if the blinkers do have the desired effect, then he has every chance of being banged there as well.
A lot of respect for number 5. Don't get us wrong, but we think that the horse is beatable in a bet like a pick 6 or a jackpot here in race number 5. Then on to race number 6. It's a merit-rated 84 handicap. It's a C division class over 1,700 meters, and number 3, Captain of the Green, is trading at 4-1. There will be adjustments. So I took down this betting before the scratching of Iger's Sanction that was trading at around 9-2, but I'll read it out. So watch out for the adjustments. Number 6 at 7-2. Horse number 7 at 6-1. 8 is at 3-1. It's double figures the balance. Alistair, I'd just like to comment on this horse, Captain of the Green, because I was involved with the horse before him relocating. And I must just add that for this horse to come back and win last time out after the hell that he went through with regards to health issues. It was just amazing. I mean, it was a heartwarming story because I was heavily involved behind the scenes when he was sick. But I'm just saying that he always showed the ability when he was with Gareth. And I always was of the opinion that, around the 80s is too low a rating for him. So if he's gotten over his issues and he continues to remain, problem-free, I think he's a horse that could progress to these lower divisions, Alistair. I say lower divisions, I don't think he's a C division horse. I think he's better than that.
Well, let me start with the good before I go to the bad. I obviously didn't know the story of number 3, Captain of the Green, until he won his last start. And listening to Jonathan Nassif in the interview, and as you say, what number 3, Captain of the Green went through, credit to the connections for sticking with him. Credit to Fabian Habib for getting him back after an 11-month layoff. It was a great ride from Pierre Stradham as well to get Captain of the Green across the line by a short head from Captain Mo, and he can only step forward with that run under the belt. So, I mean, it's a type of story that should be published and be made known, that what this horse faced, and to have him in the pink of health and never mind winning, just running again, it sounds like a huge feat from the entire team. The reason why I don't like Captain of the Green, maybe you can shed some light, I don't see him getting 1,700 metres. I think he's going to be challenged. Every time he's gone a mile, he's not quite got the job done. The extra 100 metres on a galloping course, I think if anyone's going to get him to go the trip, it's going to be Pierre Stradham. But a lot of the progeny out of Madame Rooney, they tend not to stretch past a mile. So that is my reservation with number 3, Captain of the Green, although he would go into the pick 6. My place accumulator numbers here are 2, 6, and 8. Let me start with number 6, Diesel Shadow. He is my top choice. Gavin Lerena takes her out for Erico Verdenese. He is my top choice because I know something. Candice once did call up Gavin Lerena to ride number 2 Player. He considered it but settled on number 6, Diesel Shadow. The combination of Verdenese and Lerena had a winner on Tuesday at Turfentine with, I think, DJ Jr., also by Diesel Jet. So yards in good form, horses in consistent form. Lerena rides from a good draw. Big runner. Number 8, Shinto Shine goes this trip for the first time out of a mare that's only produced long-distance horses. So I think that will do him a world of good. Chase Morjan takes her out for Tony Peter. Just his overall profile tells you that he's going to be bang there. He's going to have a chance. And then number 2 Player is doing very, very well at home. In his anti-penultimate start, McKay's Breeders at Hollywoodbets Greyville, he ran many miles above his rating. Although he's not quite shone since, please be with me, he was unlucky last time out. Pila Sunday and Paulie came back bemoaning the fact that actually the stable companion who got done went and did number 2 Player. He's a lot better than 8 3/4 lengths behind Argo Alley. He'll run a better race on the back of a rating drop, and he will be dangerous. Expect him to run in the top 4 at worst. So 2, 6, and 8, the numbers for me in race number 6. This is the second trickiest race on the card. The last one is a nightmare.
2, 6, and 8 for Alistair. With regards to the distance of number 3, Captain of the Green, whilst on paper it may seem that he is better suited to 14 up to a mile, I can tell you that whoever's ridden him always mentioned that in time he's going to get further. So hopefully it's in the right direction when it comes to distance that Fabian Habib is attempting with number 3. Keep an eye on him closely on Thursday. Race number 7, it's over 1,200 meters, merit weight at 80 handicap, and this is the way they're betting. Number 1 at 7-1, 2 is at 5-2, 4 at 4-1, 5 at 8-1. We got a 3-1 shot here, and I'll speak to Alistair about this. That's the maiden winner, number 7. And then it is double figures, the balance. Yeah, we've always had this discussion, Alistair, when it comes to horses winning first up, on how good the form light could turn out to be, because it's still early days, or how much more to come from the horse, or what the opposition they've beaten. In the case of number 7, Count Invicto, I'm going to disregard the opposition, and I'm just going to judge the horse on how he handled it first up. And I must say, he handled it like a true professional.
So the first thing that I want, now that I've got the form line in front of me, the first thing that I want to draw to punters' attention is that Winds of Change was carded to run in that race, was 1-4 and scratched. So it looks like the owners had a massive coup on Count Invicto. That's not the case. That was due to adjustment. So the shortening was from 10-1 to 3-1. The worry that I have is the quality that he beat, or the lack thereof. Third was Pursuit of Fame, that's come out and run second in a Work Riders behind Remains of the Day. And the fourth horse beat an 8 lengths Gold Rush Kid, ran third behind KwaZulu-Natal, beaten 13 lengths. I think KwaZulu-Natal, trained by Erico Verdenese, is very, very smart. However, with that said, Dees, gotta like the way that this horse won. He controlled, he dominated, he looked the part coming across the line. But when you consider now that he's taking on a horse like Open Highway, who at this division is very dangerous, and Gorgeous Klein, and Lucky's got a guide here, because Gorgeous Klein beat Musical Score. Musical Score, I know, is highly regarded, and I think he's going to win races. I think he's feature race material. Don't know about Grade 1 material, but definitely feature race material in my book. Now, Lucky Udalakis trains Musical Score. Gorgeous Klein on the last run, coming back from a layoff, is 3/4 of a length better than Musical Score. Now, Lucky would know. He's a shrewdy. He'll tell you, I don't line up horses and test them at home. Lucky's a shrewdy, and what I'm guessing at is that he'll know exactly where Counts and Victor lines up with Musical Score. I don't think they can live together. I think Counts and Victor might be good, might be all right, but I don't think they can live together. So from that point of view, inside draw, Gavin Lorena, second run after rest, should be a lot more fit. I'm prepared to bank in number 2, Gorgeous Klein, and all bets.
Okay, that's it. Alistair Cohen, very strong on the horse that he thinks is the horse to beat, and that's number 2, Gorgeous Klein, at 5-2, and he thinks that is the right horse in the race. In fact, just judging by Alistair Cohen's comments, I think 5-2 looks to be a good price if you go with the confidence that he's expressed for horse number 2. And let's not, say anything more about this man who seems to be on a mission. Number 2, Gorgeous Glen, partnered by the man of the moment when it comes to jockeys in the Highveld, and that's Gavin Lorena. On to the lucky last, race number 8, and it is over 1,200 meters, where number 1 I see now is a scratching. That was priced up at 28-10. So there will be adjustments in the betting here. That was 28-10, and I promise you, number 11 was at 33-10, and number 12 at 4-1, and the balance were all in double figures. So there will be adjustments here, Alistair, when it comes to the way they're gonna readjust the betting, because this horse, Chasing Happiness, was scratched at 8:12 on Wednesday morning, early in the morning. Of course, my betting was taken down a day before. So there'll be 2 horses that will dominate the betting now, numbers 11 and 12. And I think there may be a few other runners that possibly could come into single figures. Does this, throw your selections way out now that number 1, Chasing Happiness, is scratched, or does it make it a bit easier for your selections?
No, still a hard race, Dees. This is a matter of survival. 3, 7, 11, and 13 are my numbers here. And if you ask me for a top choice, I'd be very, very hard pressed to give it to you. I'd actually probably lean towards number 7, Roll with the Punches, to be honest. Trent Mayhew claims 2 of his 2.5. Ray Magnet trains. I think the insider straw is going to help. On a line through Rock of Bismantova on the 24th of September, Roll with the Punches, not really waited to turn around with the horses who finished in front of him, Rock of Bismantova and Bob's Your Uncle. But since his ratings come down, Roll with the Punches was once 112. He's obviously got a lot of mileage on those legs, the 6-year-old son of 8 of War, 33 starts, and he's certainly not the easiest mover going down to the start, but he comes back all right. But I think with the sting out the ground now, you might see a little bit more from number 7, Roll with the Punches, but he can't be a confident top choice. Number 3, Wise Act. I love coming back down and trip. The outside draw and the rest are the worries. But back down and trip, the son of Active War, who has kept some good company as a 3-year-old, is definitely worth a look. And so is the stable companion number 13, Rock of Bismantova, because I just don't think he got home over 1,400 meters last time out. He was also drawn on the wrong side of the track, and everything went wrong at the start. He's worth another chance off the lightweight. And then number 11, Karate Kid, who's taking a step up in class, carries a lightweight, but he could be up to it. My colleague Nico Kutziota thinks the world of the son of her up to number 11, Karate Kid. He comes in here almost, very well weighted indeed, according to a middle stakes. And with a 3-year-old who could be very progressive, trying the trip for the first time, he's not one to leave out either. Pila Sunday and Paulie takes the ride. So those are my 4 horses in the PA. I hope to double up. By this stage of the day, I might not be so greedy and just hope to survive the final leg, because if you throw any name at me, I wouldn't be able to put you off. I mean, number 12, Bob's Your Uncle, with 48 kilos, is going to be dangerous. Kian the Conqueror loves it at the Vaal, or runs better at the Vaal than anywhere else. Esquivel pops up from time to time. I mean, all these horses have some sort of claim. So very, very tricky finale. I think the overall spend for the first 3/4 of the day will allow you to go wide in the finale.
Well, you've picked out some nice horses here. I've just been looking at the betting, before these adjustments. Number 3, 12 to 1, 7 at 15 to 2, and horse number 13 at 12 to 1. Those are some nice roughies that Alistair's included as part of his play, because that quartet is sure to get to a sizable pool when it comes to the last race, when we have local race meetings, and that's going to be the last race at 16:25. Okay, Alistair, we've done the race by race preview. Let's have a look at the exotic that you've chosen, which is up on screen.
Right, and as I can tell you, I've just looked at the scratchings exactly 5 minutes ago. In the first leg, number 4, World of Alice, has been scratched for Stipes permission, so that makes number 1, Mia Moo, even more appetizing. So PA gets underway at 12:50 on this Thursday at the Vaal. Banker 1 in the first leg by Banker 14, Enforce Law, by Banker 5, Buffalo Storm Cody. Just 2 horses need in the pick 6, they'll be 2 and 5. By 1 and 5, Red Legend and Vaal Vegas. By 2, 6 and 8, Player, Diesel, Shadow and Shinto Shrine. By Banker number 2, Gorgeous Klein. By 3, 7, 11 and 13. I did have number 1 in there, but she comes out chasing Happiness, so that just reduces the spend. 4 horses in the final leg.
Thanks for your time, Alistair, and hopefully things work out. You've given us some good suggestions throughout the race meeting, and looking forward to this Thursday. Thanks for your time as always.
Sure, Denise, always a pleasure.
Okay, that's Alistair Cohen, and on behalf of the Gallop TV team, Alistair Cohen, myself, Dees down and to you, the valued racing fan. It looks like a card that you want to try and catch a few exotics. You can possibly go narrow in a few legs, as Alistair suggested in that place accumulator, and even, follow on in the bets like jackpots and pick sixes, where he's giving you some confidence. But have a blast, find all the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be a profitable day for you if you're playing at the Vaal on this Thursday. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.